You're watching The Pat O'Hara Show with host Sean McDowell on Preds TV.
Well, what a difference 7 days make. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the locker room. Preds TV is on the air, and this is The Pat O'Hara Show. It was just 7 days ago that we were in this room talking about a Predators team that had not yet found its first win. Lo and behold, that trip to Dallas turned out in Pat O'Hara's favor, and the Preds come up with a 70-59 win, an 11-point victory that was not secured until the late moments of the fourth quarter at American Airlines Arena. So these Predators take that 1-3 record, and they'll go off this coming Friday evening to North Alabama, Huntsville to be exact, where spaceships, rockets, what have you, are known to fly through the air. And they will face off with the Alabama Vipers, a very tough team that uses the run very well in its 3-2 campaign so far in the 2010 season. How will Pat O'Hara stop that attack from the Vipers? Let's ask him. When last we saw the Orlando Predators coach in this room, Pat O'Hara, we laughed that the air conditioning was turned off. They made it a hot event for us. No AC in the locker room. This week you get the win and the AC is back. It feels pretty good on both counts.
Interesting, isn't that happened?
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that feeling. I mean, aside from the laughter of it, it is much better to get the victory and to be on your way to somewhere more positive.
You know, you want to get that first victory, and we need it on a lot of levels. You know, our players need to know they can win, and we certainly needed a confidence builder, and that helped.
Very good. Let's talk a little bit about some of the events that we saw this past Friday night in Dallas as we look ahead to Friday night's event in Huntsville, Alabama with the Alabama Vipers, and we will talk to Coach about some of those plays. Right away, it is Dallas quarterback Cullen Drafts fumbling the handoff, and that is Marlon Moyer-Moore jumping on it. His defense looking pretty good, and then 2 plays later, it is James Lynch on his way to somewhere really good, giving the Predators a 10-7 lead from the 1-yard line. Coach, your offense and your defense working hand in hand very well in the early going in that game.
You know, we were able to turn turnovers into points, and in arena football, that's key. And so we were able to do that. And then offensively, we took care of the ball better. There's still a few things we need to clean up, but much more efficient. Still
in the first half in this game, and the Predators down 14-10. It is Hill going 3 for 3 on his final drive. Nick Hill, that is. His final pass to Derek Lewis, 32 yards through the air, and that puts Orlando in front, 17-10. Predators looking very good on the passing game. Can you talk about Nick this week? You and I talked earlier about it, and you and I agree. He looks better this week. Things are gelling a little bit.
Yeah, you know, he was, he needed to get that win. He needed, his teammates needed to see him win. He needed to get that personally for his confidence, and he understood what was at stake, and I'm glad that he rose to the occasion. And I thought he played, a lot better, and there's still some things we can clean up, and he knows that too. So I think we're on the right track there.
Throughout your trips, and you know a thing or two about throwing a football in a game like this, talk about the confidence level and the psyche of quarterbacks and what it takes to put them in a comfort zone.
Well, it's, at some point it's you got to take it upon yourself, and I think maybe it does help that I did play the position, and Nick and I spent a lot of time watching film last week and talking philosophically about the quarterback in arena football, and he stepped up to the challenge. We challenged him last week, and he stepped up.
The final drive of the first half, also a very good one for Orlando and Coach O'Hara's crew. This is Nick going 2 for 3 on the drive. Josh Bush, breaking 25 yards on the tote. Lynch would score 3 plays later. That would cut the lead to 30-23. However, 2 penalties lead to a muff snap and another safety for Dallas, so it's a 9-point lead at the half. Lynch looking very good in this game for you, Coach, with 2 touchdowns on the ground. Can you talk about the way that you're using him in your offense?
Yeah, James is a very good protector. He's a very good pass protector, and that's kind of his forte. And every once in a while, you want to give him that ball straight ahead, and he's a bullish type runner. So he's a good mix of both.
Talk a little bit about this road trip and maybe the challenge that you faced coming out of the locker room. Being on the losing streak, you really had to get guys focused, I would imagine, and impress upon them the seriousness of coming out of the locker room with a burst of fire.
Well, I was proud of our guys because when we finished the second quarter there, we had a good drive where we managed the clock well and we scored last, and we had the possession coming out. And even though it was a 9-point game at that time, we had the possession coming out and can quickly turn that. So our guys realized that, and they were able to come back and step up and keep their poise and their confidence level, like you said, on the road, and that was huge for us.
We should point out, by the way, that the Dallas Vigilantes playing without Shane Stafford, who Predator fans will remember having played 2 years at the Jungle. Very good quarterback for the Predator franchise, but now he's in Dallas. He was unable to play in this game because of a foot injury. The highlights don't stop there, though. Hill throwing a touchdown to T.T. Tolliver. Antoine catches 24 yards through the air. That's their first drive of the second half, and the lead at that point down to 32-30. And after Dallas would score to make the game 39-30, Hill to Tolliver again. His first play, 42 yards is the touchdown strike, and the Dallas lead down to only 2. Talk about Antoine, if you would, and the performance that he gave you, and the 2 touchdown catches in particular.
Yeah, you know, TT was feeling it the other night, as I kind of like to say about him. He was feeling, he was in the mode, and he really stepped up huge. And you know, Nick got him the ball on time, and it really started clicking, and that's something we've been waiting to happen, and it did happen.
Yeah, can you talk about maybe the synergy between those two? Does it just take a little while for a quarterback and a receiver to get to know each other and their tendencies and maybe just the way they conduct themselves in the huddle and on offense?
Well, it does. You know, we have a new quarterback, a new coach, a new system, a new receiver. So, yeah, it takes a while for them to get on the same page. You know, Saturday night those guys did, and it was really neat to see.